All right. Hello. Hello, Teresa. How's it going? Um, had some technical, having some English difficulties. Having some technical difficulties there. I reset up the camera to do it a little bit of a different way. So hopefully that works a little bit better for everything. And then I had some technical difficulties with one of the surprises I have for today. So ha ha ha. Happy Easter, everybody. Happy Passover to those celebrating that. Teresa says happy Rabbit Day. We have Marcia, good morning. Amy, good morning. Cindy, good morning. You guys are always so like on the ball, even if it's late. I greatly appreciate that. Laura, Rocksmith, good morning. I have some fun stuff for you guys today. I went to the Japanese dollar store we have in town because I had to mail some boxes from there because our local one was closed for Good Friday. And they have always some really fun stuff. I have some fun things to give away later in the stream. And good Happy Mail stuff, updaters. My brain's like biters. Updates on Biter and Scuttle, and no peaks of the things this week, but that's okay. There'll be other fun stuff. So hopefully everybody's having an awesome day. I debated not doing the stream today just because I know people are busy with Easter, but I know some of you aren't, and it is always recorded, so that is a thing. We stalk you. I thought you said stalk you with love. Good morning, Deborah. Good morning, Brenda. Happy Easter. Yeah, so I got tulips behind me. I can't see where I'm pointing to because my thing doesn't show that. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, no, wait. There's the tulips. That makes it harder when I can't see the thing. And I reprinted the "with great power comes great responsibility" quote so that you can actually see it properly, and it's prettier on. It's kind of dark blueberry colored. It's not really black, but it looks black in the thing, so that works. Yeah, so that's awesome. I'm gonna make this a little bigger so I can actually see what is going on. Maybe. Oh no, I made the thing smaller. There we go. I'm having all the technical difficulties. I got something jammed into a machine earlier and it was pretty interesting. So I will tell you about that in a little bit. Hey Kinga, how's it going? Good morning. We have celebrated holidays and Ling weekend. All the holidays. Happy holidays. It's apparently National Unicorn Day too. I'm not quite sure why that falls on Easter, but that's kind of cool. I have stickers that arrived in the mail. Just one, Northwest Studios. And this is the awesome sticker that came. Very, very pretty cream drafty. I like the big chunkers. It's got such a fun style too. Her and Darren did a collaboration recently where they swapped coloring styles in how they do it and line art, which was kind of neat. Very, very cool collaboration. What else should I show you? I'll save the really good stuff for last. I have a video to show you, and then some fun things to give away. So I'll give it. Oh wait, partially. Maybe I'll do. Yeah, let's do the dollar store thing first. As I pull all the things out of the plate. So it is Umomo. They had a really, really cute bag. I couldn't resist. They're a local. Well, it's a local shop that. I don't know how big of a franchise they are, but we got this store a couple years back and it was pretty cool. It's kind of in a more Asian district in town, which is fun. I always used to like going down there for anime stuff. And they have all sorts of really fun, if you're into containers and organizing things, they have all sorts of stacking containers. And this one, I cracked it, but that's okay. Stacking containers, clear different sorts of things. They have all sorts of personal care products. They had these, which is nail foil holographic transfers, which you can transfer in smaller areas. I bet you that with adhesive you could put this on a pony and do accents on wings or whatever. They just come in little sheets and they're really thin, like any sort of transferable foil. Here, let's see if I can pull one out. So super, super thin. And it should pluck all that up. So you put the adhesive down, put this down, and it'll peel it up. So I'm excited to play with that. I think that'll be fun. Could work really well for medallion backgrounds and all sorts of stuff. I didn't have a plan, I just saw a shiny. You guys know how that works. They also had tiny little jewel molds that work for UV resin or epoxy resin or any kind of anything really. So they're more like opals, which is kind of fun. They usually have a little descriptor on the tag when you buy it on the shelf that tells you kind of what it is, because there is no English translation. All import stuff. I got a mirror. I got little tiny foamy brushes that should work for pastels, getting in some of the cracks and crevices and things. And they're made out of like the foamy makeup sponges. That's what it seems to be made out of, which is kind of cool. There is a little pigment disperser spoon with a jewel on the bottom, which is always fun. Which is great if you're trying to mix little bits of pigment into resin or other stuff. And then I know Sue Kern has been using these. So they are a plastic suspension frame. And I'll show you what that is in a second. So they come like this. They're 3D with 2 layers of plastic in the middle. Let me open this in a way that's not going to break things. And then you put whatever it is. That might poke through. That might poke through too. I don't want to break it. You put whatever it is in the middle, and then you close the frame around it, and it holds it securely. So Sue Kern was using these for, and it's pretty flexible plastic. Like you can kind of see how that works. Sue Kern has been using these to ship micros in, and it seems like it's working reasonably well. And you can find them on Amazon or like Alibaba or other places. So that's kind of an awesome option to have. And then they sometimes come with a display stand. And it can hold your awesome little whatever you're displaying. It could be a little medallion too. Micros are kind of fun to have them hover in the display stand. It's kind of fun. Sally, good morning. Saying she uses Google Lens as a live translation portion to their app that you use when you go to Asian grocery shopping. That is awesome. Works great, and you can use it as for the back of that jewel mold package. Oh, I've done that before. I've used Google Lens before, but not necessarily when I'm actively in a store. I'll have to remember that. I don't know why I didn't think of that. It's super handy. I have a Pixel phone, so you would think that I'd think of that. But super fun. So I figured it was a couple bucks and makes a fun sound. Good to try out. See what it's like. You could put probably anything in there. It's super soft, so metal might not be a good thing. It might poke through. I haven't tested that yet. She was using it on resin micros, but I don't think any of those have torn, so. It's always good to know what you're buying, because you never know. It's good to have things translated. I also got these blind bags. So they were darn near irresistible because they're little bowing animals. So there's a cat, there's an otter, there's a rabbit, which is perfect for Easter. There's a Shiba, and there's a raccoon. And then they had another one, which has a chinchilla, a frog, a pug, a phoenix fox, it looks like, and a macaque. So I will have to open these and show you guys what's inside of it. There's a rabbit, because it's Halloween. Or Halloween. Easter. I don't know what day or month it is, because things are crazy. Such is my life. It's funny because we were going out for Easter and I totally forgot it was Easter and I needed to ship things and send emails and people weren't there because there was They come with like a little tatami mat. I got a chinchilla. It's so cute. I can't like, they didn't have as many blind bags as I would have thought, but here, put it on the tatami mat. I must bow. Look at that. It's so cute. And then for this one, yeah, so I didn't even remember that it was Easter or when Easter was, or it was bad. And then my poor husband is sitting there going, well, we need to do this on this day and that on that day, and it just goes right through my brain. My brain has no absorption capabilities currently. So we have another, I don't know if I'm alone, but maybe. We have another tatami mat. And, because I can't see it, we did get the bunny. See? It's Easter luck. A bunny and a chinchilla. He's so cute. Let's see if it'll actually focus on it. Not my face. He's got a little, I think it's his little tongue sticking out, actually. That's hilarious. Is it gonna work? It's thinking about it. So now they can bow respectfully at each other. So cute. Laura was like, I want all the buddies. Hopsalot needs a little Japanese cousin. Super cute. They can hang out there. I don't know why they don't necessarily both need tatami mats, but that's alright. I grew up in the 90s, so Japanese culture was kind of cool when I was growing up, and I'm also part Japanese. There's a little sliver of it kind of in my history, which is super interesting. Kind of relates to wartime, so I haven't gotten the full story, but one of our relatives did do a trace back, and I thought that was kind of neat. That's kind of why I've got the little Asian-y eye thing going on. It showed up in my dad, and it wasn't anywhere recent in our bloodlines, because we're kind of mutts for most of it. And then for whatever reason, my dad came out with fairly Asian eyes, and then I did too. So it's, yeah. And then when we did the research into the history, it was neat to see that actually pop up and be like, oh, that's why. That makes so much more sense. So kind of neat. We're also related to the Baskervilles in England. So like the Hounds of the Baskervilles in Sherlock Holmes, which is also super cool. So that is a thing. We got Good Morning, Zarina. So we are on That Bunny Needs to Be a Mini Bunny Battlecorn. Amy, that is probably a really cool idea. Laura Brown, she's late. She just woke up. It is early, but we started late, so it works out. So that is the Japanese dollar store. Oh, and I got a big mirror. You guys can see my screen. And I use these for when I'm sculpting. So I will sculpt a horse and then use this to match the other side of the face. Sometimes, or I'll take a photo and flip it on my screen, however it works. But sometimes it's nice to have the mirror because then you can kind of see it in 3D as you're working, which is kind of cool. And that's my I have a 30-inch Cintiq, which is a big Wacom drawing tablet that is my screen. But I bought it specifically for working in ZBrush, and my eyeballs appreciate a bigger screen. But ZBrush has so many different things coming in on the side that I can work on a horse in bigger than traditional scale on the screen, and it's amazing. It makes all the difference. Because working on a tiny little screen and trying to do stuff is very frustrating. And it's hard to do model manipulation and any sort of 3D sculpting if you don't have some sort of tablet screen, preferably, but you definitely need some sort of stylus tablet. And those aren't too hard to come by, so you can do, there's some stuff you can do on an iPad, but you can't do ZBrush because it's not quite, they don't cross compatible. There might be a way you can make a iPad into a tablet for a computer, but that's getting into too crazy. Brenda's saying she got a 36-inch curved screen for my computer. Nice on older eyes. Yeah, so even for streams, I have the big chat here Here he is, I guess. I have the big chat here, and then you can see the camera's on the top, and it's pretty big screen. Insider peek into the studio stuff. Blah. There's no secrets there, so it's fine. Definitely easier on the eyes. It's all touch compatible, so I can go poke things and bring things up, which is kind of cool. Yeah, so that's kind of fun. I did have more mail to show you. So you guys have seen the little fin from Peter Stone. So this is the Pebbles scale resin. This is the traditional scale resin. So this is the original size that they requested I make him in. And then shrunk for the Pebble size. And then they decided that they didn't want it to be as big as Bunny. They wanted it more cob size, less drafty sized. So when they did the plastic, which is what I got in the mail, it is fairly significantly smaller than the big traditional guy. So for anybody that wanted a direct comparison to how big they are. So this is more cob size. This is slightly smaller, I believe, than the Ish. It's kind of cool to see it in unpainted plastic. But they are... Whoa. Here, I hold them both by the tail. Ugh. Quite different in size, which is kind of cool. So if you have the big, huge honkin' resin version, then if you want a smaller one, it is very different. Plastics generally shrink anyway. The whole molding plastic process, I don't know why exactly they shrink, but there's a shrink rate they have to build in, so all the masters are usually a little bit bigger. So if they would have cast the traditional resin version in and just kept it like it was and made it into the plastic, it would have been a little bit smaller. So it's like China where it shrinks a little bit. But I will see if I can show you guys how they line up. So there's a pretty significant difference, which is kind of fun. And then there was a bit of an oops with the micros. You guys might have seen me post about wanting a fin and trying to acquire one in micro-sized. There was a blip in communication, and I guess they did not save micros for me. Microchips is the sizing brand they call theirs. So I have found one. I've located one. It is on the way, and I will show you guys when I get it, but I don't got it yet. So, hi Julie! You made it! We were a little bit late in starting, but that's alright. I was just showing off the fin plastic and how he compares to the traditional resin and then the Pebbles resin. I think the resins are sold out. There might be some of the traditional one left. I haven't checked. Let me just pull it up on the Stone page. Hold on. Pardon my thing. But they are coming out with fairly often best offer ones. There's been a couple of special runs. There's been a loyalty program version. So the Pebbles is retired. Let's see, hold on. So it does say at the bottom here that the product is retired and no longer available for purchase. Then they've got, that was the microchip version. So this one's retired and no longer able to be purchased. Let's see. So they've done quite a few. There was Ambrosia Feast of the Gods. This was a Boydston best offer. Super pretty. Look at his face. And it's kind of cool with Briar, it's been really neat to see the colors that they've chosen for him and the auction pieces and what people are doing for customs. You're not going to see as many customs on the stones because they're harder to get a hold of as bodies and just generally more expensive. But they have put out a whole bunch of colors. So this one's a calico-inspired, cat-inspired one. There was a silver dapple. There's been a couple of Appaloosas. They did Swamp Thing, which has a green tint to it. And so it's had a very subtle green tint apparently. So it's kind of more like just glossy bay. They had one with the bats all over it. We had another one that was silver bay. So you can see that they've come out with quite a few colors on them already. Dapple chestnut. Figgy pudding was a limited edition of 30. It's definitely really neat to see all the colors that they have pop up. And he's got a cute little face. So he was meant to kind of be more romantic, which is kind of fun. I was, pardon my double screen here. I was lucky enough to be able to ask for some unpainted copies of the plastic and the resin so that I have a copy of each for my own purposes. But I have plastic. And you guys know what that means. That means I'm going to customize them. He's actually super heavy, so I'm a little bit afraid of how that's even going to work. But my video, I didn't get to load into the system properly. I'll just double check to see if it's there now. Oh, it did load. Hold on. Oh, I could probably just show you guys on the screen. Maybe. Maybe not. Nope, it's not going to work for this. You guys know where this is going. Any guesses? Let's see if I can make that bigger. All right. I will put you back over here. So, we have a fin. Ta-da! And we had one that had some challenges. So, he got to meet the saw. And I'll turn down the volume so it's not so loud. Because we haven't beheaded anything in a very long time. And their heads need to go off. And this is part of where my technical difficulties came from today. Because he might have got stuck in the saw. Because it's hard to do this with one hand and still film. So you could use a bandsaw like this. Or you could use a Dremel. Dremels are probably a little bit easier, but this is kind of more efficient. So he kind of got stuck there and I had to jimmy rig him out. But we have a very thick, now headless. Now I can do all sorts of fun things with him. So even just the idea I could turn his head, I could put him a little bit more naturally, however I want to do it. That's a really short neck. You can be like, hello! No, you can't put a bridle on me. But I kind of like the head turn. I think that would look really fun. So it gives me some opportunities to play with the bodies, which not a lot of people get to do because not a lot of people get stone bodies. I'm so excited. And of course I have to behead it because it's mine. Let me double check what's going on here because I can't see. But we have to do off with his head. So when I first started the streams, there was a whole bunch of these where I was basically beheading something every single stream. If you missed those ones, you can probably go back because I usually posted the beheading after I posted the stream. But he needed to have his little head removed, which is kind of fun. But he's super thick. Like, that's really, really, like, the hair's pretty solid. And then you can see how thick the walls are. So, by comparison, what do I got to show you guys? I know I have a whole bunch of beheaded things. Hold on one second, I'll go grab one. And what better to do than to grab the beheaded Fireheart, whose head is shoved in his body so wonderfully. So they're actually comparable. I think it just seems heavier. Maybe it's a different kind of plastic. I don't know. But this one's definitely got a lot more weight to it. He also has a lot more hair. So there's that. They're kind of fun to see together. And I've seen a whole bunch of really cool customs already coming out on Fireheart. People are getting a little braver, which is kind of fun. But he can do all sorts of kicky, stompy, reary, fun things. I'm going to try and have some sort of Fireheart available, if not more than one. Maybe for Briarfest. We'll see how that goes. Sometimes that's challenging. So, yeah. See? He had a thing on his butt. His legs weren't aligned. He's got some, like, dings in them. And they knew I was going to body some of these, so, yep. And his little chunk of mane left is kind of hilarious. Because the hair was a problem. Because there's so much of it. Look at all that hair. And they've been taking the mane and tail off of him and putting it on a whole bunch of other stuff, which has been really cool. They put it on Bunny. I think they put it on the Andalusian. They put it on the draft horse. And it gives them more stuff to play with, which is kind of fun. So, you will get to see something on this guy at some point. Although, see my problem? He's only got one eyeball and a lot of hair hiding underneath that eyeball. So, I'm going to have to figure out how to resculpt that. Good thing I know how, because I sculpted him originally. So that'll be fun. I'm excited. Hopefully you guys are too. We needed a little bit of carnage. I was a little bit like, should I do carnage on Easter? Is that a thing I should do? But it's all good. Let's see. We had to take his head off. It was a requirement. I should give him a frog head. I did not get a horg or a forg, unfortunately. I bowed out because we had, there's a good friend that was bidding on one of them, so I decided that I would let her have one. But I might have to convince Darren to make me a fire horg because it was amazing. Hopefully everybody still hears the beautiful croakinnies of the horgs in their head. Hopefully Darren makes more. He should go pester her if you want them. So Laura Brown says, I'm surprised he's molded with his mane. I assume that they molded them separately and they love to swap things around. Yeah, I think that they do it separately and they have just added the hair. So, but they stick it on with acetone. Because we like melting plastic. Why not? I know I have a bunch of beheaded things. There is a bucket of beheaded things. We've talked about making a beheaded head tiara and just do all the heads, which would be hilarious and fun. And I should do that for the next show. I do have to take all the mane off and then resculpt all of the neck and all of the eye. It was a bigger job than I probably should have attempted, but that's okay. It'll be fun. Sally said she bought Forg stickers, which were awesome. I really like those, and hopefully she does the drawn version of the Horgs too, because her drawing style just suits it perfectly. Very, very fun. So I did have a giveaway to do, because you guys are awesome. I had the prints of Night Angel that I was doing. And so this one's actually damaged. You can see that, so I had to reprint it. It's got some issues with it. But I had some funky ones come out that I don't know why. My printer just decided it didn't want to print the appropriate colors. And this one's pretty, like, hot pinky. The screen is not... There you go. The screen doesn't... There we go. Want to show how hot that is, but it's pretty hot pink. There are 2 of these that I'm going to give away to somebody in the chat. So... if you would like one of these, then type bunny in the chat. And I will pick 2 of the first people to type bunny in the chat. And then I will get your addresses and I will send you a print. And I'll sign them special because they are definitely different than the original versions. And we have 2 bunnies! Excellent. Cool. Well, hopefully you guys will like the prints because they're fun. I really... Oh... That's not a good comparison. So those are the 2 I'm giving away, and there was the original. So you can see the intense color difference between these ones. They're pretty neon, which is kind of fun. So thank you guys for playing hopefully you had lots of fun. Hopefully everybody has an amazing Easter. I'm hoping to have more peaks and things shortly. So it looks like we have Brenda as the first winner and Kim Marie as the second winner. So very nice. Congratulations, everybody. And then for Scuttles, we are on Nigerian Goatlings. Soon to be notifying our O batch, which is Owlet and then Pups. And then we have some time payments, and then we will be doing more batches for anybody who missed out that wasn't able to get them, because I said I would open them up if we could. And I know that Jen and Tom are super busy with Whirlwind. That's going to be quite a whirlwind of an edition. But they're able to fit in a couple of Scuttles here and there, so that works out. And then Biter, I am shipping about halfway-ish through our Nile crocodiles, and then I will be notifying our opossums, or possums, opossums. It's technically the O batch, so it should be opossums. I'll be letting them know, and then we will be carrying on. We are so close to the end. And then I will be switching things up for the next edition in how I release it. That was trying something different with Biter and how we did her. And then you guys know the story. There was some unexpected stuff that came up, like my caster, who was my husband, going back to work full time and leaving me with my full-time plate plus the casting for a little bit. So definitely was not according to the plan, but that doesn't normally work with life. So we'll be switching it up a little bit and trying to make it so that you guys get your castings faster. It is going to involve some challenges for some people, I'm sure, because it won't be anybody can order. There's going to have to be a limited amounts, and we're probably going to be releasing them as they are ready or very shortly ready to ship out, versus, so it'll make it a little bit harder to get them, but you'll be getting them faster. So I can't win all of the parts of the triangle, unfortunately, and I can't do open editions that ship super fast. There's some limit somewhere, but we are keeping within about a year. It took till just the previous batch to get up to the ones that sold that first weekend. So I'm now moving on to the ones that were starting to be sold in April, end of April and May. And then kind of as time payments trickled in is what we're working on after that. So yeah, I'm going to try and keep it as fast as possible, and maintaining my sanity while we do it, and then taking notes from this edition and trying to make it a little bit better for everybody going forward with the next editions. We're always trying to play with things, and depending on all sorts of factors, what casters I have available, how complex the mold is, the next ones to mold are going to be a lot more straightforward, which makes them easier to cast and faster to cast. And I'm always trying to keep you guys in mind as to how I do things and keep as many people happy as possible. And I know that there's always going to be somebody that's not going to be pleased with, either they can't get a hold of it, or they don't want to wait for it, or however it's going to go. We're going to try and see if we can bring the price down for the next editions, because they're not going to be as complicated. Complexity of the mold and the casting and the cleaning is part of the price. So Biter is a giant pain in the butt for that sort of thing. She's definitely a lot harder to cast than these ones coming up will be, plus the base, plus all the rest of it. And so that does make the price more expensive, which means the next ones can be a little bit cheaper, which is always good to have slightly lower prices than always higher prices. I'm trying to manage all of the things. I try really hard for you guys. But if there's input you guys have, you can always send me an email, and we can go from there. But I know I wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, and I greatly appreciate it, and I try and respect our mutual relationship and the whole ecosystem of the hobby. On that note, I am going to let you guys carry on with... sorry, Sally. I know it's kind of hard to do giveaways by this way, but I'll have more in the future, so I'll do it in different ways and try and switch it up. I hope you guys have an awesome Easter. I will see you next time with hopefully some sneak peeks, and then we will have some fun. I will contact the two winners in the chat and send out your prints, And yeah, hopefully I'll have a head on a Finn maybe for next time. Or he might just hang out with Headless Fireheart and they can party together. Cool. All right. Thank you, everybody, for your patience and your support and your awesomeness. I will see you next time. Do not feed trolls. And because it's Easter, spread some love and some awesome and some happiness. And I will see you next time. Love you guys.